What's up, guys? Chasing Langley here for our end of Season 1 transfer special. For those of you who only watch for the game highlights, there are going to be no game highlights in this video. I may as well tell you now, because I'm not going to waste your time if you don't care about the transfers. It just doesn't make sense. If you're new around here and want to see what happened in Season 1, there is going to be a tab there, an info card there somewhere that will click it. It will take you back to episode number 1. We've had a great season so far. I'm not going to spoil anything until after we've rolled the intro. But let's go sign some reinforcements because we definitely need them. See you in a second. So, after an excellent season in League 2, which saw us being promoted as the champions, we have now found ourselves in an interesting situation where we have a transfer embargo lifted and a whole bunch of things to tackle in terms of ins, outs, etc. So, let's make the little switch without any further ado, and I will talk you through some. Don't be alarmed. I haven't only got 4 players left. I just haven't adjusted the settings yet to filter out players who are not unavailable. Right, so as you can see, all our loan signings have left us. I'll get to those in just a second. Anthony Grant is leaving us. He's probably going to go. It was Aldershot putting a bid for him. There's a few clubs who are looking at him. He's going to leave us. Matthew Beaudry has decided to retire at the end of the season, which is probably partially down to the fact that he's been injured since January. Jordan Lydon refuses to sign a new contract, so he is dead weight to us. Mo Dabra won't get a new work permit, so he's going to have to go. Keenan Hooper and Morgan were just kind of picked up to fill out spaces, and I don't see any problem in letting them go. The rest of the squad should still be with us for next season, unless I get good offers for some of the guys who I could see myself selling, including actually Harry McCurdy, Jaden Mitchell-Lawson. They could both be available, as could our backup keeper, Lewis Ward. I have already put in some bids for some new signings, however. So I've offered a trial to Owen Williams. I know he's 35. He's had a decent career, though. He's a good goalkeeper, Welsh international. He's been playing for Dunfermline in the Scottish Premier League. And I just kind of felt like we'll have a look, see if he's any good, see what happens. I also put in a permanent transfer bid for Romany Critchlow, who was on loan with us last season. They recalled him after offering him a new contract. His contract was up at the end of this season, and they put him on the transfer list for 73k. So I did some shifty with my budget. I've still got 20k remaining, so enough to get 10 players in. But I figured I'd do a shifty with the budget to make money for him to come in. I've made a bid for Kane Kessler-Hayden to return. I've made a bid for Alex Gilbert to return, but it doesn't look likely. Tyrese Simpson, 47k again. They offered him a new contract, then immediately transfer listed him at the end of the season, which must have felt really good for the lad after scoring 41 goals, was it, last season? And then Michael Falevi is a guy I've put in a trial offer for. He was with Colchester last season, or the season before last, so a whole season out of the game. He just looked decent. My scouts seem to think, if I can bring up his scout report, will it show me his scout? I had a scout report on him, said he looked decent. I don't know why it's disappeared. It might because my head scout retired. Anyway, we're going to have a look at him if we can get him in on trial as well. But that's kind of the current in progress. As I said at the end of yesterday's episode as well, if I can find the right screen, the squad depth screen, that's what I'm looking for. I am looking for between 10 and 12 new players, I think, is kind of where at least 10 or 12 first team players. There'll be a lot of other things coming because this is our current state of play. We have two strikers in the squad, neither of whom is actually a goal scorer. They both tend to play out on the right wing. They also tend to be the only players who play on the right wing because Jack Payne is our exclusive guy here in the middle. There's a couple of youth teamers who can do it, but he's our main guy in the middle, so we're looking for reinforcements there. Ben Gladwin plays on the left, usually backed up by LSI Angelo, who's also now our only left back, so definitely reinforcements down the left side. There's a couple of centre mids I've got my eye on, which means some players may be allowed to leave. Obviously, Jordan Lydon is leaving us as well. In terms of centre halves, I have 2. I have 1 right back and 2 goalkeepers. So I'm looking for essentially a full first team is what I'm looking for to bring in. We're going to jump ahead now, and I'll come back when people come in, go out, we'll talk about it, and then we'll move on. 37 days till the new season begins. No pressure, nothing to worry about. Just got to assemble an entire new 11 players to back everyone. Great stuff. Stick around, we'll go through it. Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Kane, Kessler, Hayden, back with us for another season on loan. Not the most exciting signing, we've just had a whole season of him. But he is back with the club on loan, which is kind of a good thing in terms of what's currently moving and shaking in terms of players in so much. Thomas Mcgill from Brighton, Ashby, Hammond, we'll go through them if they actually sign. They've both been offered contracts. We've offered Sam McClelland of Chelsea a contract. I think it's Owen Mckenzie from Newcastle, great looking defender, offered him a contract. Ryan Alebiosu, if he signs, I'll have to learn to say his name properly, as a kind of developing right back from Arsenal as well. And Janoy Donatien, who's the centre half that can play all across the defence, from Ipswich. We've also put in bids for Lars De Donker from Brighton, who I have no idea why he's interested. Lars De Donker is interested in coming to play for us. He's a great looking player. He wants to be a defensive midfielder. We'll probably use him as a centre half. But great player, big potential. I think he's got under 21 caps for Belgium. He does. Don't know why he's interested, but he is. There we go. I'm trying to take a look at this guy, Salah Oladmand, who was my first choice signing for the summer, out of contract, and then Arsenal renewed. Let's see if we can get him on loan, because I think he can offer something in the first team this season. Odi Alpha, a right winger from QPR, we're looking at him. Tom Ince from Stoke, we're looking at him, bring a bit of experience in. Alex Gilbert, we're still negotiating the loan for. Same with the signing of Tyrese. And so I went for this guy as well, Marco Ramkilde from AC Horsens, who I think are a Belgian club? Danish club. He had a couple of years at QPR, never really made it. He looked like a decent player. Agreed terms with him, then Horsens extended his contract with the clause they had in there. Not great start, and I've got a couple of starters that you can't see on screen that I'm looking at. Just to fill gaps we've got, really. But that's all the news so far. Let's press forward. Let's see who else comes in the door next, shall we? And it turns out we didn't have to wait long, because we are going to confirm the signing of Ashby Hammond from Fulham. We'll skip forward just so we can have a look at him in all his glory, because, you know, it tends to tell you afterwards. So he's going to come in. He'd be our third best centre half. Our third best goalkeeper. He's got the same potential as Lewis Ward. He is, however, a couple of years younger, and I don't think this fully tells the whole story. Our scouts were very, very high on him. At one stage, his scout summary was an A. I don't know why it dropped. Comes in from Fulham. He's never played for Fulham. It says he spent his entire career at Fulham, but he has also made a lot of appearances in the Panorama National the season before last for Maidenhead, and the season before that, and then he had some time in the Isthmian. He's played some games. I think he could develop into a decent young player, so we're going to keep an eye on him and see what becomes of him. We're also about to confirm another signing, apparently, which is going to be Owen Mckenzie. I need to look up, make sure it is pronounced Owen. I'm pretty certain it is. Owen Mckenzie, centre-half from Newcastle. He gets on the bus as well. This guy's huge. 192 centimetres is, I'm going to show my math skills here, about 6'4", 6'5". This guy's enormous. He's an Irish under-21 international. Decent pace. Has never played for Newcastle. Spent last season on loan at Morton in the Scottish Championship and did fairly well. I think he's got a lot of room to improve. The scouts seem impressed. He's just behind Conroy at Critchlow and Odenmeyer. I've got my attention of Conroy staying, actually. But better than Beaudry, so that's already an improvement on the squad. Could be a League One standard player. Kind of player I've been looking to sign this whole time. So that's, one more in the boat. Let's see if that continues. 2 more updates for you. Thomas Mcgill, the other goalkeeper we were looking at, has signed for the club. We've just completed the signing. You just watched me do it. Again, third choice in terms of ability. Better potential than Lewis Ward. So I think that means safely now we can say that I'm going to let Lewis Ward go. We're going to offer him out to clubs. I would like to try and get a fee for him somewhere in the range of about 75k. Don't know why it's just let me pick 75k. We'll see if we can get any nibbles at 75k for Lewis Ward, because we don't need him now, quite frankly. One of these two keepers is going to develop into something good. Salo Lamhan, I've been trying to arrange a loan for him. Arsenal are just being unreasonable, so that's not going to happen. Or at least not at the moment. It might, if we can revisit it later on, it might, but it's not going to happen right now. Right, two more signings to confirm. Alex Gilbert returns to the club on loan for next season. I'll try and turn him into more of a striker this year, I think, because I haven't really focused on having him turn into a striker. I've been using him as a forward. I don't know, maybe there's a trick I'm missing here. Maybe the right wing is a place he should be playing, that inside forward. I don't know, we'll figure it out, but I'm glad to have him around just because that does give me that extra play. We're also bringing in Lee Congerton as chief scout because we need one, because our chief scout retired at the end of last season. So that seems to be pretty much it for now. We're going to do one more skip forward just to see if any more appears in the inbox. Hopefully something will, but we'll find out in just a second. I would hope. We are 5 days from our transfer embargo being lifted, and things are looking good. Perez Sanchez has come in as well. He is going to be our new under-18s manager. He's Spanish, but he's been managing in Gibraltar, or playing in Gibraltar. Either way, he wants to come in. We'll give him a chance. Why not? Let's wait for something more important, though, like players. Stick around. And another one in the bus. This one actually was my top priority signing for the summer beyond keeping Kessler Hayden and Tyrese Simpson around. Anthony Gomez Mancini. He's French. He comes to us from Burnley, and what a player. The scout report is ridiculous. So he's as good as Ryan East already as good as Ryan East, but with massive potential, potentially Premier League potential, dare I say it. Can play central midfielder, can adapt to playing as more attacking playmaker we tend to use as well. Lots of time to develop. I also signed for Burnley for £1 million. £1 million player, guys. We've signed £1 million player in League One, and I don't think he's anywhere near done developing yet. So look out for him. He's going to play a lot for us over this next season, I think. In more disappointing news, though, sadly we've missed out on Tom Ince. He is going to join Shrewsbury, but it does give me the opportunity to look elsewhere because we were offering him quite a big wage. Apparently they're offering him £30,000 a week. £30,000 a week. Shrewsbury must have come into some absolutely ridiculous money to be offering a player £30,000. I was offering him £4,000. Where has the money come from? They had a huge takeover that I've just missed out on. There used to be. Where is the button? Finances secure. Come on, has there been a takeover there? No, nothing obvious. They've just somehow acquired £30,000. Is it because they've just secured promotion? I think they've just got promoted to the Championship. That's why they can afford to throw £30,000 a week at Tom Ince. That's ridiculous. I was never going to match that. I couldn't have dreamt of matching that. So fair play to him. He's got paid. Would have played more here, but he's got paid. Good job to the boy. Well, this is a small hammer blow to my ambitions for next season. Tyrese Simpson has agreed a deal with West Brom to join West Brom, but for some reason play in their under-18s. They're offering him less money than I did. They've got him for less. They've paid less for him than I was offering, and for some reason he's gone there. So we won't have Tyrese Simpson, which really means I have to ramp up this looking for a striker. Junoy Donasian has also agreed to join Plymouth rather than us, which is going to be a huge problem going forward. And we're waiting on a work permit for Lars De Donker, which hopefully will come through, because I'm running out of options at centre-half right now, and I need to go find some more options up front, which is good, because we may be entering the next season with a team that doesn't have a goal scorer. Good times. Well, it's a bad news, good news situation. We missed out on signing Tim Akinola from Arsenal, which is a shame. He's gone to Bradford. But that's always the way at this level. You're always going to lose one or two players elsewhere. However, Odi Alpha is coming in from QPR, which gives me an actual right winger, which is actually something I've been very much needing. It reckons that he won't be as good on the right wing as half a dozen of our players, but he is better than Lawson and McCurdy, which is what we were looking for. see if we can get a bit more pace out of him through training. But he's had an interesting career, has OD Alpha. Came through a QPR's youth system, then he's been on loan to Baleares in Spain's second division, then Billericay in the Conference South, Maidenhead in the Conference National. Never played for QPR, but unless he made a cup appearance at some point last season. But he looks like he's got some potential. We're going to see what we can do with him. We're also going to confirm Sam McClelland from Chelsea, a centre-half, Northern Irish international. Good pace. A leader, which is interesting, maybe a potential future captain for us, who knows. He will apparently be our fourth best centre-half, assuming we sign Romani Critchlow permanently. Don't be confused with that from the scout report we've had done on him when we still had Critchlow. If not, he'll be our third best centre-half. Either way, he's a centre-half, he's in the bus. It's time to keep going, keep moving forward. We are going to build a squad that can stay up, I think. And continuing that trend, Ryan Alebiosu signs for the club from Arsenal. At least someone wants to join us from Arsenal. I've got him for a bunch of their players, and I can't get hold of any of them. He's not as good as Kessler Hayden, but his job would be to be the backup anyway. He's got some of that pace that we like from Kessler Hayden. Can play all the roles we use Kessler Hayden, and he is just kind of there to be the new Kessler Hayden, really, to be the guy that takes over if we can't sign Kessler Hayden permanently at any point. So I'm quite glad to have him on board. Lots of potential. Never played a first team game except one Papa John's Trophy appearance. I guess it doesn't count as a first team game if you're Arsenal, but you know, he's got a competitive game under his belt. Hopefully he'll get some more with us. As with all good news though, bad news immediately follows at this club. Romani Critchlow has agreed to join Wigan from Huddersfield rather than sign for us. Which means my hunt for centre-halves is going to have to step up, because I'm going to need to find one that can step into the first team rather than just a bunch of good young ones who could develop into first teamers, which really brightens my day. Right, carrying on our ups and downs of the transfer window, we are now signing George Nunn, a fullback who's not really a fullback, he's a wing-back and a striker and a winger, but we'll make him into a fullback. We're going to find some use for George Nunn. We're signing him from Chelsea on a free. He's Irish, not an under-20 international, but he's Irish. Hasn't ever played a game for anyone, but his report was pretty good, so we're going to go with that. See if I can turn him into a left-back, maybe, or use him as a striker, or use him as a winger. He gives us a bunch of options, basically, but he's going to come in and join us. On the flip side of that, this is an old favourite, Elijah Dixon Bonner, who played for us in Poland at Wrocław. Elijah Dixon Bonner has decided he'd rather join Salisbury, who are not in a competition that is available to play as, rather than us. And I can't work out why that's happening. There's no sign of big money coming into the club as far as I can tell. There's no big finances there. He's just decided he'd rather play for Salisbury in the Wessex League Premier Division than play for us in League One. He would have been a regular for us as well, I'll be honest. He would actually have been a regular player for us too. Doesn't want it. I don't know why. I have no answers. So weird. I had such a good relationship with him in Poland, but he doesn't want to come to Swindon. So he's gone to Salisbury, which is just down the road. I don't know. Some good news, though, is that adding to our full-back ranks, we're signing Declan Frith from Aston Villa. This one's going to feel like I'm just randomly appearing and throwing names at the screen. I'm really sorry. I sort of am. Declan Frith is a left-back. Signing so many players, I have kind of no choice but to just throw names at you every now and then. This episode would take about 45 minutes. It may still take 45 minutes. He's a left-back. He's coming in from Aston Villa for free. We haven't spent a penny so far, actually. He's as good as Ellis Iandolo, but with a lot more potential. So I thought we'd take a look at him long term. It might just be his pace that helps us. But yeah, we'll bring him in. We'll see if he's any good. He might just stay a year. He's on a 2-year contract, but he was worth a gamble. So we're going to have a gamble on him. Because why not? We're also going to make a cash money signing. Luke Dreyer. I say a cash money signing. We've just paid a bunch to his agent to make him come here. Luke Dreyer joins us from Crystal Palace, a central midfielder, by far the best central midfielder in the squad. I wasn't even really looking for a central midfielder specifically for this window beyond a replacement for Jordan Lydon, but this guy popped up and I couldn't say no. He played 8 games in the Premier League for Crystal Palace this season, and he played once a few seasons ago for Crystal Palace. He's also had a cup appearance this season. Does that mean Palace went down? Did Palace Palace stayed up? He potentially could have seen more Premier League football this season. I mean, our scouts will tell you he could potentially be a good Championship player. He's already a leading League One player. He is 23 years old. Welcome home, Luke Dreyer. I don't think you're going to be a short-term signing, I'll be honest. I don't think you're going to be a short-term signing. It's not a 2-year deal, and this could be the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful friendship. Welcome, Luke Dreyer. We're going to get to know you very, very well. Okay, so I made a little big mistake. I was clicking through, as you do, and I signed Lars De Donker. And I completely missed the message about Lars De Donker's work permit getting rejected. Now I'm a bit confused by this because he should have settled status. He's been in England for years. He was playing in Scotland last year on loan, or he went to Scotland on loan. He didn't actually play. He was in Scotland last year on loan. He should have settled status. And he doesn't. And I don't understand it. I'm hoping I can figure this out, or I can just offer him a bigger contract, or whatever it takes to get this pushed through. But for now, we've signed him. We just might not be able to actually play him, which is slightly frustrating because he was going to become a key part of my defence this season. So that's fun. More good news, bad news. My hunt for a first-team left-back continues because Ben Williams decided he wanted to join Gillingham, who I think got relegated from League One last season. Did they not? No, not quite. He decided he wanted to join Gillingham instead of us, which is very frustrating because, frankly, he's too good for that level anyway. So we don't have Ben Williams for next season. We are going to bring in this guy, though, the beautifully named Rainel Hercules. He is a winger / striker. He'll probably be doing bits of both for me. He's not spectacular in either position. I don't think we should convince ourselves otherwise, quite frankly. But he does give me that other option on the right-hand side, which means I've got the freedom to either sell or loan out or rotate Mitchell Rawson and McCurdy or do something with them. Comes from Crewe, played for Crewe last season. Did well, just shy of a 7 rating, was on loan to them from Brentford and played in League One last year, so has that experience we're looking for. Hopefully we'll get something out of him, who knows. And another visit to the Arsenal well brings Jonathan Dinget into the team. He is a centre half, another big boy. We like a big tall boy in our centre half. He's Congolese. And he has been at Carlisle in League 2 last season. I remember playing against him. I remember thinking he was decent. I already had him being scouted, obviously, because his contract was up. But he had a decent time in League 2 last season. And in terms of fitting into our defence, as good as Matthew Beaudry was, which is pretty strong, because Beaudry actually did play he didn't play a lot for us last season. I remember saying at the start of last season he was going to be kind of a backup. Played eight times for us, had a 7.24 average rating. Disney, just as good, more potential, got more going for him. So actually a really strong signing. I'm really pleased with him. He was on 2k a week at Arsenal. He's come to us for 750. This boy wants to play, and he will play. And yet another player signs for the club. Tyree Shade is a winger who is coming to us from Leicester City. He's very quick. He's very determined. Big potential. Big determination and big potential usually equals a big player. He's had an interesting career. He was with Walsall last season, played against us in the last episode actually. I seem to remember him being good, looking like a threat when he was against us. He also had a couple of moves at Solihull. Well, he played for Solihull and then loaned at Solihull United. Who knows? Anyway, he had a good season in League 2 last season. He looks like he's got some potential we can build on. I can't argue with him as a signing, so that's going to be a thing. Also, lots of players just on trial, in, out. It's a bit weird. Peter Hartley is currently on trial. Jonathan Athalabi is on trial. I think I'll probably try and sign him as soon as I can free some budget up, because he looks like he's the replacement we need for Tyrese Simpson. He was at Celtic before he was with us. He's played Championship football in Scotland for Ayr, for Dundee, for Dunfermline. Might be alright. He might be alright. We'll try and tie him down for sure. DeBio probably not, and same with Willie Muir. They were just kind of players I wanted to have a look at, so I brought them in on trial, as that's how trials work, really. More signings incoming, and it's starting to look like a really good squad forming. So Rob Harker joins us from Burnley. I picked a lot of players off Burnley, it feels like. He will be the best striker in our squad. I'm not entirely sure how he fits our system, but also I don't have any strikers in the squad, and he was available. Put an offer for Athalabi as well, just to give us options. This guy's done some time at Bury, Burnley, Hartlepool. I mean, he's not played well or long term anywhere, but you know, I needed a striker, so he's going to come in. I've also got Liam Edwards, a centre half, joining us from Bolton, who I've forgotten I put in an offer for until just now. £725 a week, I think I'm paying for this guy. £725 a week I'm paying for him. He'd be the third or fourth best centre half in the squad. He's not great. He's not world class by any stretch of the imagination. Spent last season on loan at Aldershot. Had a season on at South. But I think he was one of those players that Bolton signed when they had no money, no players, no prospects. He's played some League One football though, so he might be all right. Well, you know, we'll see if we can get something out of him. Why not? Well, here's a transfer no one saw coming. I sold Lewis Ward to Everton for £57,000. To Everton. He wasn't even good enough to be our second choice goalkeeper. Okay, he's got some potential, but he wasn't good enough to be our second choice goalkeeper. And now Everton have signed him, and I cannot for the life of me imagine he would be in Everton's top 4 or 5 goalkeepers, surely. He's gone into their first team squad. He's behind Begovic and Pickford. I mean, they've probably got players in their 23s that you would pick ahead of. I'm very curious. I almost want to keep watching. In fact, I'm going to scout him just because I want to see if he actually plays. I'm very curious. There we go. We're still moving forward. We've reached the end of June, so we're just starting pre-season friendlies and such now. Big old pre-season, because we like a big old pre-season around here. We're playing everybody. I just wanted to bring in some money, basically. We'll see what happens, but we'll come back once there's more transfer news, because that feels like the way to go. So about with more news, AFC Wimbledon want to buy Rob Hunt. They want to pay £45,000 in total for him, and I'm going to be honest, that's going to cost them about £250,000, because I don't have anyone else that can play left back except LSA Angelo still. So I'm going to keep telling them £250,000 until they understand that they're not getting him and pull out. Which you'd think eventually they would. To be fair, £100,000 isn't actually a bad offer for Rob Hunt. Alright, this might be a thinker. Do I risk it? Sure, I might risk it. I went into that with absolutely no intention of selling him, but I might have to. Also, Matthew Beaudry retired. He's been injured forever, so I'm not surprised at all. And we're going to sign a recruitment analyst. There we go, English, because we need one. I don't know if I'm going to regret selling Rob Hunt or not. He may not even go. He may decide he doesn't want to play for Milton Keynes Dons, because ultimately it does mean going to Milton Keynes every day. But, you know, these are the tough choices you get paid to make as manager. I just don't know if I wanted to make them or not, really, and I do need to find some more fullbacks now, so bear with me, because I hadn't planned on this. I didn't think I was going to get an offer for him. I thought I was getting an offer for Angelo, not for Rob Hunt. Oh dear. Well, you were ages for a transfer to complete, and then 5 come along at once. First in, Dominic Ravan. We had him at Sunderland, I believe. We're signing him actually to play as a left-back rather than a centre-back. He can do both. He's decent. He's going to be among the better left-backs in the squad, probably among the better centre-halves in the squad. Either way, his contract's up. We'll bring him in on a free. That's happy days. Coming in from Norwich, I know, another goalkeeper. You'll see why I'm signing this guy in a second, though. Aston Oxborough is better than Joe Wallacott, and on a free. So those two goalkeepers we've signed in the window are going to go out on loan, I think, this season. And Joe Wallacott can fight out with this fella who's been playing for Barnet for the last year, completely under my radar, and Wellston the year before that, and has just spent forever at Norwich. So Aston Oxborough coming in, bit of a controversy. Okay, there's going to be some Swindon fans who watch this, and there's going to be some Oxford fans who watch this, and I'm going to get murdered for this. We're going to sign Daniel Agay from Oxford. He's Ghanaian. He's a winger. He's a very good winger. I can't believe I'm saying this about an Oxford player. He's a really good winger, and he can play up front, and he's quick, and I've got a feeling he's going to get some goals for us. He's not been a goal scorer anywhere else he's gone in his career, but I've had this happen before. Remember at Sunderland there was the guy I signed from Huddersfield, whose name escapes me, the German striker, who hadn't scored a goal in about 5 seasons and then got 30 for me. I feel like this could be a similar story, lads. I feel like this could be a very, very similar story. We're going to bring him in. We've already signed him. So that's going to be a thing. Patrick Zito as well, a Cameroonian centre-half / right-back who's a bit quick. Mostly being signed for his potential and because he wants 250 quid a week, and I can probably stretch my budget to 250 quid a week. And finally, David Bowtan, who is another player on 250 quid a week, is joining us from Crystal Palace. Midfielder, defensive midfielder, right back, actually a pretty good ball-winning midfielder if we want. So might actually get some game time. He's costing me nothing. He's never played a first-team game of football in his career, so this could be a disaster. But there we go. We'll bring him in. A few more on the bus. We are getting there. There are a few players who are wanted. We're not going to worry about Anthony Grant. He's leaving us regardless. Jordan Lydon, I really want to give him another contract. He doesn't seem to be interested in signing at all. So he's probably going to go and play in Australia again. Lewis Reed, wanted by Wigan. Not really that interested in selling him. I'll kind of make that decision when the new players come in. Same with Ryan East. Ricky Aguiar is wanted on loan by everybody. I'm trying to sell Harry McCurdy, but I cannot get offers for him. So he's probably still going to be here. We're going to see what happens. Stick around. I keep saying stick around. It's such a habit. I'm sorry. But we're going to get to the start of the new season soon, I promise. Okay, more big decisions to be made. I said literally just now that if I got a good offer for Ryan East, I might consider selling him. This is a decent offer for Ryan East. 72,000 total value with a 20% profit add-on clause. He's got some potential, but at 23, I don't know if he's going to make it. That's a real question in my mind. He played 12 times for us last season, looked decent, and he's played for Reading previously. And I'm starting to ask myself, aside from set pieces, does this kid bring anything for me to get excited about? The coaches think he could be a good League One player, which isn't really good enough considering we're trying to get out of League One. So I think I'm going to take this offer for him. There's enough young players coming. I've got a lot of midfielders in here. There's enough young players coming in that I'm not overly stressed. What will stress me, however, is that Jonathan Athalabi has agreed to join Hartlepool. He would have been our first choice striker this season, and he's turned down us in League One to join Hartlepool in League One, and I guess that's because it's closer to where he's been living. I don't like it. I need to find another striker, which is great. We have, 3 weeks? 4 weeks till the start of the season. I need a striker. God. I don't know if there's anything available. There might be some loans coming in soon. Well, it's all going so well. We're back under a transfer embargo because I might have spent too much money and we've got to reduce our wage budget by £7,000 a week. Yeah. Oops. Anyway, so we're going to tackle that. we've messed up financial fair play, and that's fine. I've only signed several hundred players, so it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. I'll send some guys out on loan. It'll all work itself out. Apparently I can't sign anyone else though, so interesting. Well, we don't seem to have been stopped from signing players yet, for some reason, because we apparently already have too many. Rafael Garcia has just come in. He was released by Everton at the end of last season, and for some reason that's made Lars De Donker happy. I don't fully understand why, if I'm honest, but he can do some things. He's going to be a youth team player we develop. In fact, we're going to stick him straight on the development list and see if we can get someone to, teach him some things, I guess. But that's made Donker happy. Oh, because I made moves to strengthen the midfield, which I guess makes sense. There are still players coming in. They're coming in actually quite thick and fast at the minute. I've just chucked a bunch of contracts at people before we had that thing saying we were under an embargo. So apparently these can still go through. Sebastian Christensen, next one through the door. He's come from Everton as well, a Danish under-20 international. I don't know anything about him, but I saw he was a Danish under-20 international and thought we'd give him a go. And he's got championship potential, so that one has worked out quite nicely for us. We'll again stick him on the development list because he's not going to get a game this season. I've gone from having no squad at all to too much squad. If we just look at the players here, we'll take off all the guys who are on loan or trial. I had 20 players this time last year. I've now got about 70. I said 10 to 12 players I wanted. I may have got overexcited. It's fine. These guys will, I'm sure, improve the team in various ways. Joe Anderson's the next one coming in. He's also going for Everton. He's a left back, and he is probably going to be as good as Ellis Iandolo. So I don't think he was a bad choice at all. We'll add him to the development list anyway. And also we've got Malik Caligan coming in. I don't know where Malik Caligan's come from because he was released. He's coming from Crystal Palace. He could be alright. He's got long-term potential. This is a long-term project now. All the players that are coming in now are long-term projects that we're going to make sure get all that development time, playing elsewhere, becoming better players. I really want to sign this guy just because he's Andorran, but I can't afford him. So Ben Elliott, Cameroonian player, can't afford it. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. We're just going to keep this signings rolling in. Ryan East is rolling out though, so that's good. Ryan East is going to roll out to pastures new. That's probably going to help. We're going to wish him well, actually, because you've been a wonderful servant. Thanks. See you down the road. Have a good one, buddy. He's gone to Lincoln, so he's not going to be a threat this season, which is fine. And that does mean a couple of the senior players I've actually offered contracts to, I might be able to finally complete their deals because they've been waiting on me to raise some funds. One of them is Jordan Ibe. Frankly, I do need the right winger. So that's worked out well. We'll see how the things progress as more players come in and out. But, I'm not just going to keep waffling whilst I keep clicking continue. This episode is going so long. I'm so sorry. I'm signing 2 more players. Mickey Mellon is a striker that was at Burnley last year. Burnley seems to be a rich hunting ground for me this transfer window. I just needed strikers. I don't have any strikers. And Mickey Mellon was the best option. We're also going to bring in Brooklyn Genesini. I think he's from Crystal Palace. So Bournemouth. He's come from Bournemouth. He's a right back with some big potential, who is hopefully going to do big potential right back things. I don't know what else to say. Mickey Mellon might actually be of a standard where he is someone I want in and around the first team straight away. I won't do it just yet. We won't do it just yet, but he could be. Brooklyn Genesini again. He's the 4th bell. He'll be fine in the 23s. Cade Ratchford is signing. I signed Cade Ratchford because he came from Burnley. He was at Manchester United before that. I was like, he's got to be some relation to Marcus Rashford, which means he's probably just a bloody good fella. We're going to bring him in anyway, just for the fun of it. And we're also going to bring in Will Greenidge, a fullback. I don't know why I didn't complete that. Will Greenidge, the fullback, is a right back who played for West Ham, and every stat I can see from him is yellow. That's my entire rationale for offering him a contract. He was costing us next to nothing. If he ends up being crap, and it looks like he will, he ends up being crap. He costs 120 quid a week. We've lost nothing on that deal. Bradley Ryan's coming in. He's a midfielder. Again, £160 a week. We lose nothing on this deal if he's rubbish. But he came from Chelsea, so he must be not terrible. And Jack Byrne was apparently, this guy, 230 quid a week. And there was a feeling among my coaches and scouts that he was the best winger in the squad / striker in the squad. So I couldn't turn him down, really, and looking at all his things, I mean, he's not, but we'll develop him and see if he can become the best striker. And who knows? Who knows? We just need players to do things for us now. We're going to bring in Jami Qureshi. He's another winger. I've got so many wingers now. Probably too many wingers. There is an argument I have way too many wingers. He came in from Brighton. He's going straight on the development list to see if he can develop. Quirk's coming in. Seb Quirk. I signed him because I liked his name. I wish I could claim there was more to it. He was at Everton. He can play everywhere. I need a player that can play in places. He's got some potential. Thought I'd bring him in. That's all the thinking that went into that. Joe, I think we're just going to skip to the end unless I sign anyone who's first. Because I've signed about 1,000 youth players. And that we might not even see him play. If I sign anyone who's going into the first team, we'll come back. Otherwise, we'll skip to the end. Well, another big sale has gone through. Ellis Iandolo has left the club for 25,000 with some add-ons and stuff. It had to be done. I needed to balance the books a little bit. Getting him off the wage bill helps a little bit. It's not going to help with the FFP, if I'm honest, because we need to cut wages by £3,000 a week, apparently, which is not going to be terribly good. And we are making some money, though. We do have £1 million in the bank, just shy of, although we are also, of course, to lose £6 million, so we'll run away from that very quickly. No one knew was coming yet. We're just, I say no one knew. Some young players have come in, but no one who's going to start yet. So we're just making our way through to the end of the transfer window, really. And finally, the first team signings are coming in rather than youth team signings. Garen Wallace joins us from Burton Albion. He's 27 years old. We're going to ask Dion Conway to help the boys settle because that feels like a good idea. Garen Wallace is a central midfielder who can also play at left back, which means he's probably going to end up playing at left back or centre back. Doesn't make a difference to us. I mean, he's now the best left back in the squad, which is something we were looking for desperately. He brings good experience. I don't know if I feel like I should drop Custard Profit a message. He's our big Burton fan in the FM community, being like, buddy, is this guy any good? I mean, he's played a lot of games for Burton, to be fair. He's played, 50, 60 odd games for Burton. He's probably not that bad, but he's also played for Bristol Rovers, so everyone's got their faults. Anyway, I think he's going to turn into a decent signing for us, and we are just about to confirm the signing of Jordan Ibe as well, which takes up pretty much the rest of what budget we've managed to wrangle from backing and forthing. He was playing for Derby last season. There we go. There's a fun fact. When I say he was playing for Derby, he was playing for no one last season. He was playing for Derby the season before last. He came through Liverpool's academy. I remember this. He came through Liverpool's academy. I was like, this kid's going to be the next big thing. He played, 29 league games for Liverpool, 30 odd league games for Liverpool. Bournemouth paid 15 million quid for him and then just decided he was rubbish. I don't know why. Maybe I'm about to discover why he's rubbish. Stranger things have happened. So, maybe this is a mistake. Maybe I'm just going to get what little bit of skill is left out of the guy before he disappears into obscurity. I don't know. Either way, Jordan Ibe is now a Swindon Town player. We'll register him for the squad. Get Dion Conway to, welcome him to the team. I can only actually sign one more adult player anyway, so this has actually worked out pretty much okay. Welcome him as captain. Come on, do your thing. There we go. Right, everyone's happy. Right, in terms of players to sign, I'm not planning on putting any more bids in. This is what's left. None of these players, except maybe Reece Brown, would be considered a first-team player, so we should be golden. Let's just get through to the beginning of the season and I will confirm if Reece Brown signs or not. Okay, finally we've made it all the way to the first game of the season. We're not going to play it today, that will be Monday's episode, so stick around or come back for that, I should say. Let's have a quick look at what we've done with the squad. I can't show you all the transfers because, my word, there have been many. I haven't even counted how many transfers I've brought in. Let's ask the Magic County thing. 47 players have come in, and including players we brought into loan out, 11 people have left, including Ellis Iandolo, Ryan East and Lewis Ward, all going for fees, which is good because we will need the money as the season progresses. No major new signings came in after we left. I brought in some players on loan. I brought in one signing who will definitely get some game time, is Max Haygarth, who came to us from Brentford. He's a midfielder who will probably play up front for us because he's probably our best striker at the moment. Finding strikers has been horrendous. Really, really horrendous, quite frankly. I have had zero luck. I brought in the 3 players on loan, though. We've brought in Lenny Ray Sereno, a Ghanaian left-back from Blackburn, because there really weren't a lot of options at left-back, so I thought I'd bring him in just for some depth. We're paying him next to nothing, £60 a week, so we'll get over it. We've brought in Alfie Lloyd, a right winger on loan from QPR, again £80 a week. He's just there for extra depth, and I don't think he's going to play a lot of football, to be honest. But there we go. And we brought in He Zhenyu, a Chinese international striker on loan from Wolves. He's being paid £110 a week. He's actually in contention for starts, so we may see some of him. Zhenyu, Haygarth and Agay are going to be our main strikers as we go into the new season. Let's have a little look-see at our squad depth report. I'm not going to change the tactic just yet because it worked so well last year that it seems silly to abandon it, having sort of strengthened the squad. But this is what things will. We'll take out all the players who are on trial because they're not getting signed. I looked at Dylan Levitt. I cannot get Dylan Levitt to sign a contract, which is disappointing. But here's what we've been left with. So strikers-wise, our top 3 are Guy, Haygarth and Zhenyu. Don't know if any of them are going to be massive goal scorers, but there we go. In attacking midfield, we've got this guy Charlie Dennis. He's not actually here yet. He's joining us at the beginning of January. He played for Southampton. He's currently playing in the States, but looks like he's going to be a decent player when he joins us, so that will be fine. I'm not stressing too much over that. Jack Payne, of course, will probably continue in that role in the meantime whilst we wait for it to go back. So many players now that it takes a while to get back to the squad depth chart. On the right-hand side, we're probably going to be looking at being slightly weaker on the right-hand side than we want it to be. It's probably going to be Odie Alpha playing on the right-hand side. Looking at the depth we've got there, or Tyree Shade, there's not a lot of strength there. So if we do make tweaks, it's probably going to be a case of, do I sacrifice that attacking right midfielder for a straight-up right midfielder, go 4-4-1-1? That will be the most likely change to the tactic. We've always got Williams still in midfield with Dreyer. Gladwin still around to play on the left-hand side. Jordan Ibe is around as well, so we've added some depth there. We've also got Garen Wallace, who's more to play at left back, but we've got him there as well, and Gomez Mancini as well will make some appearances, but he's going to come in very slowly. On the left hand side, like I said, it's going to be Jordan Ibe probably filling in whenever Gladwin can't play, although we've got Declan, Frith and a few others that can play there too. At the back, we've got probably Wallace or Hunt starting as our left back, with either Hunt or Kessler Hayden starting on the right-hand side. We've got Ravan, we've got this guy Bridge. I think I showed you Mungo Bridge. Did I show you Mungo Bridge? I don't know if I did. We signed him from Aston Villa anyway. He's probably going to get some appearances too because, you know, I don't have a lot of great options. The squad, despite how it looks, I'm saying a lot and have a lot of great options. I have actually strengthened the squad. This is actually significantly better as a squad all round from last season. At centre half, we've got Conroy, Odomayo, Mckenzie, De Donker, Wallace, Edwards, McClelland, centre-half, we're much stronger than we were going into last season. And obviously, in goal, we've got Wallacott and we've got Oxborough, and those two other goalkeepers we brought in who are currently in the 23s, which is why they're not showing. So I'm pretty happy all round. I think we've done okay for this season. I don't know where we stack up with the rest of the league. In terms of our league schedule, we've got a couple of more friendlies to play after we play the League Cup first round game on Monday. We're starting with the League Cup first round because it's the first competitive game of the season. I will do some working out of where we come back after that. It's probably going to be McDon's, and then we'll work it out from there. Because there's a good run of games there with Sunderland, Derby and Oxford as well, who are all clubs we probably want to see games against. So we'll work it out. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there because I feel like I've been recording this 4 hours. In fact, I have been recording this for about 6 hours now. So I am going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're new around here and if you haven't had a chance to see things. There is the playlist that you can start from the start on. So tired from doing this. English is failing me. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. Until next time, I've been Chasing Lamely. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Have a good one.